welcome to the first steps with Ringover webinar. Just before we start, so we can give the rest of the people to arrive on the webinar, I'm going to show you guys our self-learning platform, which is called Ringover Academy. So it's ringover.com/Ringover Academy, and you have access to a lot of training paths, such as the user training path, the admin, the supervisor, or the empower, which is our tool for the AI analysis. So you have all of these training paths. If you have a new hire in your team and you want that person to learn how to use Ringover, you can just send the link to the Ringover Academy, and then the person can follow the training path to learn how to use Ringover. Well, this webinar is also going to be recorded, so you're going to receive a copy of the recording. So if you want to use that internally as well. And I'm also going to show you our support page, which is support.ringover.com. So here you're going to find, well, let me go to the support page. So here you're going to find all of the articles about all of the features they're going to find within the web app and the dashboard. And if you click on webinar, you also have access to our past webinars. So every webinar that we do, we upload it here. So you're going to find all of our webinars here, and you can also find our next webinars by clicking here. So let's start today's webinar, which is the first steps with Ringover. The idea is to show you how to use the web app, so how to use the main project of Ringover. So let me just show you the agenda for today. So we're going to have the introduction to common business communication tensions, how the Ringover solution could help you to solve these problems. We're going to discover the Ringover web app, and we're going to have the demo time. By the end of the webinar, we're going to have questions and answers sessions. But during the webinar, if you have any questions, please use the questions tab, and Bruna will answer all of the questions. So let's start today's webinar. My name is Marcos. I am part of the quality and learning team here at Ringover. Bruna is also part of the quality and learning team, so she's going to be answering all of your questions while I present the demonstration. So let's see the first key point that we wanted to show you guys today, which is the monitoring team performance. So what do we mean by that? Here we're talking about the lack of visibility on the team's phone activity. We're talking about missed calls. We're talking about answer calls. So how does Ringover address the lack of visibility on the team's phone activity? Here at Ringover, thanks to the call analytics, you get a full view of both individual and collective performance of your team members. So you're going to have key metrics such as call volumes, duration, answer calls, missed calls, and the reason behind the missed calls. So these will help you to solve the problem of the lack of visibility on the team's phone activity. Let's move on to the second key point, which is productivity. So here we're talking about the constant need to switch between multiple tools. So you're going to have your Ringover tags and your Ringover notes on the web app, and then you need to write all those informations again on your CRM. So you need to do the work twice. Thanks to the Ringover integrations, you don't have to do that work anymore, because with the Ringover integrations, and we have over 60 integrations, all the information that you're going to create within the Ringover solution, so within the web app, is going to be sent to your CRM. So if you add a note to a call, this note will also appear in your CRM thanks to the integration. So if you're interested in integrating with a CRM, please you can contact our support team, or you can take a look at our webinar as well that show you guys how to integrate with the CRMs. And you can also ask your admin to check on the dashboard on the integration session how to integrate with external tools. Let's move on to the third key point, which is the coaching and onboarding of employees. So if you have a bad experience of training, of onboarding, the onboarding of your teams is going to take longer, and the skill development is going to take longer as well. So with some features that we have in Ringover, you can have a more fluid onboarding process. So for instance, here in the example, you're going to have access to the call recording, the transcript, so you can guide your team member by listening to their calls. You can guide them on how they can make better calls with the clients. And you can, of course, also use the whispering feature. So this feature will allow you to be on the phone with your team member, talk to your team member. Only your team member will be able to listen to what you're saying, and the client will not listen to what you're saying. So you can guide your team member. Only the team member will hear you, and the client will be in communication with the team member. So you can also have access to this feature in order to have a better onboarding. So the last key challenge is the classic issue of call quality and equipment problems. So to solve this problem, Ringover uses cloud-based VoIP, so voice over internet protocol. So basically, this means that you're making calls using the internet instead of using traditional phone lines. So here at Ringover, we're going to use cloud-based VoIP, which ensures high quality calls. So now that we've have seen the four challenges, let's take a quick look at the main features at Ringover. So first, we're going to have a simple management of the phone system. So you don't need an IT team behind you to configure all of the settings in your phone, because everything is very intuitive to make it simple for you to make phone calls, receive phone calls, and also configure your phone system. We also have data-driven performance improvement. So Ringover will provide you with a lot of analytics, a lot of data to help you to analyze and enhance the performance of your team. So let's move on to the next feature, which is access to cutting edge technologies. So here in the image, we're seeing the IVR builder. So the IVR, interactive voice response, is what is going to help you to create a machine that will take your calls and redirect your calls to the appropriate team members. So with an IVR, you can build a lot of redirections to the appropriate departments of your company. And as you can see in the image, it's very user-friendly, it's very intuitive, so everything is ready to use, ready to build. We're also going to have enhanced customer interaction tracking. So in the image, you're seeing the omni-channel communication. So you're going to have access to integrations with WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger to help you to keep track with all of the interactions that you have with your clients in only one interface. So you don't have to change windows every time, because all of the interactions, all of the conversations, they're going to be in the same interface. And finally, we have call campaign performance analytics. So when you make a call campaign, when you call all of your contacts one after the other, you're going to have access to the call campaign feature, which will offer you a lot of analytics so you can see how you did in that call campaign? How was your performance in that call campaign, and how can you make it better? So with the data that Ringover will give you through your call campaign, you're going to be able to probably enhance your call campaign to reach more people and to be able to talk to more clients. So now that we have seen all of these different features and all of these problems that Ringover is trying to solve for you guys, we're going to see the demo time. So we're going to go to the web app, and I'm going to show you how to probably use the web app. So let me just open my interface. So don't hesitate if you have any questions, just use the questions tab, and Bruna will answer all of your questions. Okay, so let's go to the demonstration of the web app. So here, when you log in into your Ringover account, this is what you're going to see. So you're going to see your daily analytics, you're going to see the call logs, the video logs, the facts, and you're going to see the dialer that will be here. So everywhere you go within the web app, you will always see the dialer here on the left of your screen. On the right, you have access to all of your team workers. So you can just click on a person to send a message. So it's going to be an internal message using the web app. So the first thing that I'm going to do is to make a call. So I'm going to make a call, and I'm going to show you guys all of the actions that you can do during a call. So let me just type the number. Let me just mute. So as you can see, I am in a call. You can see that it's an outgoing call because it's blue. If it's an incoming call, the color will be green. So you can see all of the actions that you can do, also the history, all of the interactions that I had with this contact, and the actions will be the call transfer. So we're gonna have three options. Just gonna try to look for my colleague here. Let's take this one. So I can see that my colleague is available. So I can click here. I can direct transfer to this person. So that means that I'm not going to ask her if she's available or not. I'm just going to send the call to my colleague, which is not really recommended. We recommend you to ask first. So ask if the person is available, and if the person is available, then you transfer the call to that person. While you're using this feature, while you're asking your colleague if your colleague is available, your client is on hold. So the person is waiting for you to give an answer. If your colleague is not available and the client wants to leave a voicemail to your colleague, you can click here, and then the client will be sent to the voicemail of your colleague. So it's not going to ring. The client will automatically be able to leave a voicemail so your colleague can listen to the message and call the client back later. So these are the three options that we're going to have when it comes to call transfer. You can also put the person on hold, so you can see that now my dialer is green. You can also, let me just write a note during the call. You can also add a tag during the call, or multiple tags as well. You can have access to the keypad again. You can record or stop the recording. You can call a second person. So by clicking here, you can call a second person. You can also share your call by clicking here. If you click here, you can copy the link, and then you paste the link, and the person can join the call. So a third person will be able to join the call. And you can also transfer the call to your mobile. You need to have the mobile app. So you download the mobile app on your phone, you log in into the mobile app, Then by clicking here, you can transfer this call that is happening right now will be transferred to the mobile phone. And you can do the same thing back to the web app. You can also do all of the mic configuration here and also the speaker configuration here. Now let's see, just gonna finish my call. Now you have access to the after call work, which is basically a time that are gonna be unavailable to receive phone calls. So you can see here, I have this amount of time to treat this phone call. And basically after the call, I can maybe edit my note and add more information. And then if everything is good, I can finally end the call. So you have the call, then you have the after call work, which is basically a time where you can treat the call. So change the tags, edit the note, do whatever you want to do before you actually finish the call. So now that we have seen how to make a phone call, I'm going to show you guys also how to change the phone number that you're going to use to make the call. So by clicking here, you can change the phone numbers. So here I have my personal numbers. I have only this one. And then I have the numbers that I share with anyone in my team, which is this one. I also have this one. And I can also hide my phone number if I choose this option. That means that every time I make a call, the person, the client, will not be able to see my number. So my number will be hidden. You can also choose the local presence, which means that if you have international numbers, for instance, if I have a Spanish number and tomorrow I travel to Spain, then I'm going to be making calls with the Spanish number. If I come back to France, I'm going to make calls with the French number again. So the local presence, based on the geographical location, will choose the closest number available. But of course, you need to buy a number in the places that you're going to travel before. So if I'm going to travel to Spain, well, I need to have a Spanish number in order to use this feature. And of course, you can also set yourself on snooze, so you can set yourself unavailable. So for instance, I'm doing the training, so I'm not going to be available to receive any phone calls. So my dialer will be orange because I'm not available. And you can be available again. Of course, you can also set a timer. You can say they're going to be eating for 10 minutes, and then that means that you are not available anymore. Let me just set myself unavailable. And I'm going to show you guys the call logs now. So using the call logs, you're going to have access to all of your last calls that you made using the web app. So today, as you can see, I made this call to show you how to make a call using the Ringover dialer. If I click here, I have access to the text that I used, the notes. I have access also to the call flow. So it was an outgoing call, the person picked up, and then I hung up the call. So you have also your history here. You can make this call a favorite, and you can also delete this call log if you don't want it to appear on your call logs anymore. You can also send a message to the person, call the person back. So you have all of these options that are available from the call log. You also have access to the video calls. If you click here, you can make a video call using your web app. Well, it can go from here and also from here. So if you click here, you can generate a video call using your web app. And also some clients still use the fax option. So if you have a fax number, you can also upload a PDF and send it as a fax. So this is the call logs, and just let me show you guys that you can hide and show again your tags. You can use the filters to find specific calls. You can filter it by call type, by direct lines or IVR. So once again, an IVR is interactive voice response. You can also filter by unprocessed and processed calls. So an unprocessed call is a missed call where I haven't called the client back yet. So every missed call, we consider that we need to treat it. We need to call the person back. So if you haven't done that yet, that call is going to be considered as unprocessed. If you call the person back, then we can consider that that call was processed. You can also filter by tags, markers, and notes, and of course by date. If I deactivate this button, I'm gonna show you guys, I can see calls from everyone in my company. So as you can see, this is not me, this is not me, these are my colleagues that are making calls. If I activate this again, I can see only my user. So this is pretty helpful. If you want to see your call logs, you don't care about the calls that are made by your colleagues, then you need to leave this activated. If you deactivate it, you're going to see everyone's call logs. Here you're going to have the waiting lists. For some people, they're assigned to an IVR. They're going to be receiving calls at the same time. And sometimes you're going to be able to see that your colleague is receiving a call right now. And I want to be able to pick up the phone because I know that my colleague, he went to grab a coffee, so he's not in front of his computer. So I can see that he's not seeing that there's a call coming. So I can see the calls going to other numbers, going to my colleagues' numbers, and I can choose to pick up the phone because, well, I'm available. I know that my colleague is not. So I can see the clients that are waiting and I can pick up the calls that will appear here in the waiting list. You will also have access to the network. So the network is basically the CRM that you're going to have access to using the Ringover web app. So you can add a new contact by clicking here, just add all of the person's informations, and then you add the contact. And you can choose if you want to share this contact with everyone, with specific team members, or if you want to keep it private. You can also integrate with the CRM. If you have an integration with the CRM, well, all of your contacts from the CRM database, they will appear here automatically. So this is also an advantage of the integrations that you don't need to create a new contacts list because you can just use the one that you already have in an external CRM. And you're going to see the team members. You don't need to add it because automatically anyone new in your company will automatically appear in the team members tab. Finally, we're going to have access to the SMS as well. So if you have access to a mobile phone number using Ringover, you will have access to the SMS feature. If you don't have a mobile phone number, you don't have the SMS feature. So you need to have a mobile number. In my case, as you can see, this is a French mobile number. Then I can use the SMS feature to send SMS and to receive SMS as well. So I'm going to click here. As you can see, it's a classical communication conversation interface. You can delete it. You can also make it favorite, call the person back. And of course, you can type your message to answer that person. As you can see, while I'm writing, I'm losing characters. So that means that every time, so if I take this out, every time that I go over 160 characters, I'm going to spend one message. So let's do a test. This is a test. I'm going to just copy this. Okay, so as you can see, every time I go above 160 characters, I have a new message that appears here. and that changes my billing. So I'm paying 15 cents for 3 messages because every time that I go over 160 characters, I'm gonna pay 5 cents. So this is how the billing of the SMS is calculated. This is classical for the SMS feature for any operator. And also, if you use the special characters, this is going to take up more space, so more characters. So as you can see, I used a special character and I lost a lot of character. And also, if you use emojis, this is going to uh, take up more characters as well. So just pay attention to this when you're sending SMS. You can also schedule the SMS for tomorrow, select a date, and then your SMS will be scheduled. You can modify it, and you can also delete it. Um, you also have access to the one-way text with a mobile number or with a brand name, mostly with the brand name when it comes to the one-way text, because this is a text that do not require an answer. So you don't need to receive an answer from the client when it comes to one-way text because you're just notifying the client of something. So let's say the deliver of your product to the client will be late, or maybe you're expecting to have a meeting with the client, but you're not going to be able to do it. You just send a notification to the client. The client will not be able to answer that text because it's supposed to be just a notification. So, as I said, it's a brand name, not a number. So you're going to choose a brand name. So, for instance, this one, you choose the number that will receive the SMS, and then you type in your text. This is my text. And when you send it, it's going to be a one-way text. So the person will not be able to respond because the idea is just to notify the person. So that's why we're going to use a brand name and not a number, because it's not a conversation. It's just your brand, your company telling the client something. And they're going to have the internal chat, which you also have access here. So it's a free chat that you can use to talk to your team members. You also have integrations with WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, and Google Reviews. Finally, we're going to have the analytics. So this is your personal analytics. We're not talking about the dashboard analytics, which are way more complex, way more complete. This is a basic view of your analytics, and it's meant to be viewed by the user himself. So I am a user, I make a lot of phone calls. I want to check my analytics, my personal analytics. So I can check my service level, which is how many calls I'm answering and how many calls I'm missing. If I'm missing a lot of calls, my service level will be bad. If I'm answering a lot of calls, I'm going to have a good service level. And you can see the percentage and the numbers every time. You're going to have also the total calls, the duration, the average communication duration for incoming and outgoing calls. You're going to be able to see how many time you're spending unavailable. So for instance, I'm spending a lot of times on trainings, eating, and developing websites. So you can see here that you can see the actual time and the percentage, and also the call tags analytics. So what are the most used tags by the user? You also have SMS analytics and video call analytics as well. So as you can see here, you have the total SMS and the total fragments. Once again, the fragment is 160 character. So every time you spend a fragment, you're going to pay 5 cents. Here is the list of all of your tasks. So everything that you need to do, you can create a task from here. You just choose the contact, the date, description, choose if you want to call the person, send an SMS, or do a meeting. And you can also create a task from the call log, actually. Let me just try to find maybe, I don't know if I have, wait, unprocessed, maybe I have one. Yeah, no. So yeah, go to the tasks list. From here, you can click on new and create a new task. You're going to see the today's tasks and the upcoming tasks as well. And we also have a lot of settings that you can do in order to make your web app more personal and more fit for your usage for your business. So you can change, of course, your first name, last name. You cannot change your email address. This is a security measure. So if you want to change your email address, you need to delete the user and create a new one with a new address. While you can change the language, of course, the country calling code. So for instance, I can use the American calling code. And as you can see, the flag here just changed. And let me just go back to France. You can also go on dark mode if you prefer. You can see the audio visualizer in the dialer. So this is basically a visual notification that will appear here. It's something like a wave, a visual wave that is going to tell you if you're talking too low or too high. So it's basically supposed to show you how you're talking to your clients during a phone call. You can also change your emojis, use the click to call signature. So this feature is very interesting because you can use it when sending emails. So you can copy this button or this one, choose your style. Copy this button, paste it on the email signature, and the person, when this person is going to receive your email, will be able to click here and call you directly. So this person doesn't need to have a Ringover account. It can be, let me just show you. So for instance, if I go on a private browser, I will just copy the button. I'm gonna copy the link. So as you can see, I'm using a private browser, so I don't have a Ringover account here. Just gonna click here, able to call myself, and I'm receiving a call from a. That's because, well, I'm using the browser to make the call. I don't have a number. I don't even have a Ringover account. I'm just using the link that I found on the user's email signature. So anyone can use this link to make you a call. So it can be easier for clients to reach you. You don't need to share your number. The user will just use this link to call you. So this is very helpful sometimes. And then you're going to have keyboard shortcuts. We're not going to go over that because that's very personal. Um, you can set up your working hours. So you can say, for instance, that on Wednesday, I work from 9 to midday, and then from 12 and a half to 5 p.m. So that means that outside of these working hours, I'm not going to be available. My dialer will be orange, and all of my calls, they will be redirected to someone else. You can choose the days of the weeks, and you can apply to the entire week, and you can, of course, activate or deactivate this option. You can also have access to the Power Dialer, which is our tool to make call campaigns. We're not going to go over the Power Dialer because this is a very detailed tool. So we have already a webinar on the Power Dialer. So if you have any doubts about it, you can check the webinar. But basically, this is a tool that you're going to use to make one phone call after the other, which is what we call a call campaign. So you have a list of contacts, you add the list here, and then you call multiple people one after the other. And you can activate or deactivate this option here. So it's called the power dialer. The quick dial will allow you to call any number directly. So if I show you my call log, for instance, if I click on a number from here, let me just try to take this feature out. If I click here, as you can see, I just copied the number to my dialer. And if I want to call this person, I need to click here again. So I need to confirm that I want to call this person. If I deactivate this option, if I activate the quick dial, if I come back here, if I click here, I'm going to call the person directly. This is also personal. Some people prefer it that way, but pay attention because every time you click on a number, well, you're going to call the person directly. You also have access to the voicemail drop, which allow you to pre-record a voicemail and send that voicemail automatically every time you finish a call. So I'm gonna show you an example. I just have my pre-recorded voicemail already here, so ready for me to use. I can click here to record my own voice. So I can use my own voice to record this, or I can use also the AI. I'm just gonna save this. Okay, you can also choose to upload it or generate it with the AI. So I have my pre-recorded voicemail here, and I can call a number just to show you guys how to use it. Okay, so the person is not available. What am I going to do? I can just click here, voicemail drop. I can choose the message, and it's gone, it's sent. So I don't need to record a voicemail every time my client is unavailable because, well, I already have the voicemail ready to use. You can also set up the call forwarding to a user, a group, or to an IVR. It can be all of the calls, or it can be only the missed calls. You can activate the voicemail, the voicemail messages, so you can authorize your clients to leave you a voicemail. And you can set up also the notifications. Do you want to receive notifications for missed calls or new voicemail? You can choose if you want to receive those notifications per mail or not. You can also receive a notification for the networking. So if you have a bad connection, you're going to receive a visual notification or a notification with a sound that will tell you, well, you have a bad connection, maybe check your connection. You also can set up this option here. And then we're going to have the security set up. So you can log in with Google or Microsoft. You can see the SIP information. So the SIP information will allow you to use Ringover on a physical landline, on a physical phone line. So if you, let's say, work at the reception of a hotel and you want to use Ringover in the physical phone, you can by using this information. So maybe you're gonna need a technical team to help you, to guide you through this. But in any case, if you want to do it, you can by having access to this information. You can see the connected devices, and then we're gonna have the option to clear the cache and reload the page. So this can solve small bugs. So if you ever have a small bug on your web app, let's say you made a call and the call is not appearing in the call logs. So you can try this, click here. This will refresh the page, and this might solve small bugs. So if you have just a small problem that you're having with the web app, maybe by clicking here, you're going to fix it. If the problem doesn't disappear, well, in this case, you can create a ticket for the support team so they can take a look at it. You can block numbers as well from here, and you can have access to the CRM configuration. So this is a list of all of the integrations that we have. If I click here, and if I go to the dashboard, so I'm gonna go to integrations. Here, you're gonna have the complete list of all of the integrations that we have in the Ringover solution. So just one last thing that I wanted to show you is the groups option. So sometimes your colleagues, they're going to be part of a group. So they're going to receive calls from that specific group. And they might need your help because they're receiving a lot of calls. They have a high volume of calls in that specific day. So they're going to tell you, Marcos, we need your help. Can you take up some calls from that specific group? And then I can click here and I can join the group. So now I am part of this group. Now I'm going to receive calls from this group. If I click here again, I just quit the group, so I'm not part of that group anymore. So you can do this every time if your colleagues need you, if your colleagues is on holiday, so you're going to be replacing them, you can join the group and then quit the group. Let me just see. So Catherine had a question. So I'm trying to find the Ringover Academy. So Bruna sent you the link, Catherine. So I hope that helps. Let me just check. Considering over. Okay. So you were having a problem to access the website. I hope that you can have access to the website now. Going to share the link to the support page and also to the Ringover Academy. And I'm also sharing a survey for our webinar. So if you have any topic that you want us to talk about on the next webinars, don't hesitate to answer the survey and just let us know if there's any specific topic that you want us to talk about during the next webinars. So thank you for your participation. Thank you for coming today. And well, I'll see you later in the next webinar, maybe. Thank you and have a nice day.